Well, as you all know, it's been a little bit of a break, but actually, Black Clover just came back some time ago. And this is me, the Angry Anime Fan, the Despair Reviewer. Although I mostly just review Eden Zero, I decided to just do this because I'm sick of this antagonist, and I just needed to do this. Note one thing though. This does not confirm the antagonist is over. This is merely showcasing some things. It also leaves in some minor plot holes, but then again, this author has actually proven himself to forget some things because there was once some other situation in the time, and he actually clarified that thing, and he actually mentioned he did forget. Of course, everything can just have been. He can't give the excuse here that he just simply changed it because, well, what happened in the manga and the story that was told didn't necessarily have to be the truth, all to protect, well, their mother's honor, so to speak. But yes, this is Black Clover, chapter 296. And yes, as I said before, Vanisha is truly feeling chilling fear as she unleashes blood magic herds of the red beasts, but Noelle makes short work of them. Of course, Vanisha just keeps getting an orgasm from just seeing all that and saying this is kind of thrill like anything else. However, unfortunately, we also do get a confirmation that Noelle can only keep this form for 1 minute. And even though she says it's 30 seconds. So let's just see if she really does finish Vanisha here. Even though she proclaims she's going to finish this in 30 seconds, Vanisha just keeps on screaming. There is no point denying it any further. She is aroused. Every single expression she makes now is an expression of being aroused. And normally I would not complain about that. I mean, hell, there's a lot of people who are watching hentai. So, and Vanisha is just that kind of designed character, designed to be a creepy sexualized version of violence towards ladies. So not men, on the other hand, but only towards ladies. So she wouldn't be so much out there in a hentai way. Even her magic blood is meant to be a little bit sexualized, about drinking blood like that. So she's an extremely sexualized villain because that's just how it is for her. Violence, sex, and many things more. And she actually does think back about the time she challenged Ashir. And just like a true idiot she is, she actually does not remember how long ago it was. And while you can complain that Vanisha is very flat, I'm saying that is exactly the point! She is meant to be flat. Even her entire reason for challenging Ashir all those years ago, which we may presume has to be around 15 years ago, or maybe 16 now, because Noelle is confirmed to be 16 or 15. So that technically means that Vanisha challenged Ashir around that time because Noelle just had been born at that time. Yes, you heard me right. Noelle had actually been born before all of this. So it really creates that situation, though, that how old is Vanisha? She doesn't really look like she is over her 30s, but given how she looks exactly the same as she did 15 years ago, my presuming is that she stopped aging after merging with Megicula, and she was around 15 years old when she challenged Ashia, which means she is in her 30s now. And again, she doesn't remember when she was but she simply wanted to go wild. There was no explanation about yes, I couldn't bear someone stronger than me, or I just wanted to rub someone's salt in the wounds. No, she just wanted to go wild. That fits exactly with her character. A lot, because that is just how the Dark Triads work. I don't really understand all these YouTubers who try to get deeper thinking inside the Dark Triad siblings. There is no deeper feeling about the Dark Triads. They are simply flat, egotistical, dark, negative, emotional villains. There is no point to their action other than pure senseless violence. So she heard about Ashir, who lived secluded from her past arrest, and she challenged Ashir. And that was a fight that was relatively even. However, the most shocking thing was in this In this situation, though, as I said before, Noelle had just been born, and Nozel, who was holding her at that time, actually were watching the fight. And Ashier uh, threatened to kill Nozier and Asier, no, no, sorry, Nozel and Noel, all the while saying that kids are a thing of the past. Remember the time when she kidnapped the princess and said that when I took a child hostage, Asier was showing real skill. It actually turns out that the child she was threatening were Noel, but just like the psychopath she is, she does not remember that, nor does she even care to remember that. But it is true. When Asier's family were threatened, she unleashed a more might of her power, all the while saying that what the strongest thing in the world is when a mother is protecting her child, and actually stabbed Asier with a powerful thing. We also see that we actually also see here that Asier's steel lady Valkyrie armor is extremely similar to Noel's new spirit form diving. In fact, it is so similar that unless you had got a confirmation, then Ashier is basically just looking like Noel. Granted, it has been confirmed that of all the siblings, Noel looks like her mother the most. It also turns out that the curse that Vanisha placed on Ashir was accidental, or maybe I should just say Megicula put it on her, just in order to save yeah, Vanisha, because it turns out that she was fatally wounded, and she didn't defeat Ashir, she was fatally wounded. However, when Ashir pierced Vanisha, Megicula self-defense activated a curse that cursed Ashir, and that is how she got cursed and how she died. So she fled the battle. She didn't win the battle. She fled like the coward she truly is. And that's what all it was. But of course, she doesn't think that is cowardly. She just remembers the thrill of the fight, and she just wants that again. So she keeps unleashing more, but Noelle is having none of it. And just like her mother, stabs her exactly the same way that her mother did. I mean, Noelle stabs Vanisha the exact same way that her mother did all those years ago. So yeah, as I said before, there is some plot holes here, but again, it also brings the fact that the story we have been told is not necessarily the mangaka forgetting. It is more the fact that some things had to be changed in order to preserve Asier's honor. So hear me out here. The story went that Asier was pregnant with Noelle, was cursed by a demon, Megicula, and then died after giving birth to Noelle. However, here we see that she had already given birth to Noelle. She was weakened to childbirth, but still could put up a big fight. And when her child were in danger, she stabbed Vanisha, and it was only then that Megicula cursed her. Likely, and given the fact that she had just recovered from the childbirth and the fight with Vanisha, the curse likely has killed her right there and there. So it's a bit of a contradiction. It's not that Noelle was born to Ashier and then the curse killed her. No, it is the fact that she had already given birth to Noelle, but the curse still killed her because she was weakened from the birth and from the fight against Vanisha. So that is not the story that we have been told, but I can see that this is not necessarily the mangaka's fault of changing the story. No, it's more likely that the family twisted the story in order to preserve their mother's honor. Well, if you can call it that. Because, I mean, yes, I know that sounds a little bit weird, but come on, think about it. Do you really want to hear that the strongest female knight was weakened from a birth and then fought a completely unknown psychopath and then died? Is that really a story you want to hear, especially from a noble? Do you really think a noble will want to tell a story like that? My guess is no. So what do? They blame the child, because in essence, I mean, none of this was Noelle's fault. Don't get me wrong, she is completely innocent. But this is also matching with the noble's twisted logic, because to them, they may very well just have said that if Noelle wasn't there, together with Nozel, if she wasn't gelling, and the fact that she had been born, yes, which may have weakened Ashir, then maybe Ashir would not have been cursed. So I can see how they twisted that story. Does not make it right though, but it's definitely different on what we have heard. And again, is Vanisha over now? My guess is no, she is not over. It just feels like a bit too quick like that. Granted, however, if anything, this shows another thing that even the fight against Dante confirmed. Yes, the Dark Triad siblings are the villains in this arc, but if you ask me, they are not the final antagonists. The devils are, because it was Megicula who cursed Ashir, not Vanisha. And it was Lucifero that destroyed the Asta's birth mother and Liebe's adopted mother. So the Dark Triads are powerful, but they are trash compared to the devils, which extremely imply that after all of this, we are going to have a long fight against devils, which I am not going to like, because I don't like when arcs are getting too long. But yeah, that is basically this chapter. Yes, short and sweet fighting. Vanisha is annoying and has sexual harassment. Normally that would turn me on, but for some strange reason it's not turning me on. Maybe because I don't find it suitable, which is kind of weird. But yeah, who knows? Who knows? Noelle is being kick-ass, don't get me wrong. But yeah, this is the truth of it all. It also paints the fact that Nozel was so harsh on Noelle in a very more tragic light, because here he was actually carrying her and he saw what happened to his mother. It's understandable why he couldn't tell it because of the curse of Megicula, but that paints the bullying he did on Noelle even more of a what is that word, unfair, so to speak, because she held his little sister and then he suddenly started to bully her. That does not justify anything he did. But it also seems to imply that maybe Nozel will join this fight against Vanisha because, again, he has yes, there's more reason to destroy Vanisha as Noelle has. But give me your thoughts if you have any.